Today, for this little chat that we have after our Friday prayers, what I wanted to do was to read out extracts from what Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi had said in different places. And the first extract that I gave the subheading, the most honourable work, says, what is needed that in our hearts we should truly honour the service of Islam and propagation of the word of Allah. If you think about it, then propagating the name of God and inviting the world to the truth is the most honourable task. Because this is the task of the prophets. And amongst human beings, this is the most honourable and honoured group of people. No one else can attain to their greatness or to their glory. But in practice, most people consider it to be the most lowly task. When they think of their friends and their near and dear ones, and they want to see them at in some elevated position, then our eyes turn to some worldly position or some business or ownership of some property or assets. And propagation of the name of Allah and to prepare our friends and our near and dear ones for this task seems to us to be a lowly task. It is true that we find many reasons for its justification. For example, that we don't want our children to depend on others, as if dependence on others and its danger arises only if you prepare your children for missionary work. The truth is that in the hearts, this task does not have the honor that it should have. And indeed, in our hearts, there isn't the high esteem for the people who carry out this task. Although sometimes, because of their spiritual eminence, we sometimes show them courtesy. It is without doubt that the need is that we honor and respect and esteem those who go out to spread the word of Allah in the world. And we honor them above all other people. This encourages them as well. But the truth is that this is the real place of honor. When we set out to find some means of sustenance for our children and our near and dear ones, then the first thing under our eyes should be propagation of the name of Allah. And we prepare them for this task. Why? Because this is the most honourable task a person can do. And then, once we have prepared them, but they do not carry on with propagation, then we will be excused. And then he goes on to talk about an organization and discipline in another place. A people cannot survive without an organization. Leave aside making progress. The stronger the organization of a people, the faster those people will progress and will succeed in attaining their objective. For the organization of a people, you should remember that amongst living things, when an idea or a wish to do something arises in the heart, then all his faculties come together in trying to attain that. When you start the engine of a machine, all its various parts start moving, start doing their duty so that the machine might work properly. That is the sign of a living nation. That when they hear that one voice and it calls them to that which is associated with the objective for which that nation is created, then every single person in that nation starts doing their bit for attaining their objective. A nation that does not have an organization and whose individual members do not listen to that call to attain to the objective for which those people arose, then that nation is a dead nation. There is no sign of life in it. For that whose separate parts do not work and do not operate in unison, that cannot be a living thing. It is just a pile of different things stuck together. Thus, as a nation, we should all hearken to one call. And when that sound calls us to the attainment of objectives of our Jamaat, then we should run to that voice. We should run to that call and start doing whatever little or much that we can do towards it. At that time, our needs, our desires, our wishes should vanish. And all our effort and all our endeavors should be to attain that higher objective for which they have been called. And the whole nation, the whole Jamaat should act in unison to attaining that purpose.